All right, let's talk about 2025. Now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, at the time of this recording, it's December 2025. So I know podcast listeners, you're probably hearing this. We're probably a couple of months into 2026, if I'm remembering our publishing schedule the right way. So, but I still think it's timely. I still think it's timely to talk about, even though we're probably a couple months into 2026 on the podcast. YouTubers, you're right here with me in real time. So 2025. Wow, what a year, right? There were unexpected dips. Some of us had slow seasons. Some of us had great seasons. Some of us experienced inconsistent engagement on our social media platforms. One day, the LinkedIn algorithm thought I was the bee's knees. The next day or the next week, I was not quite as popular. Who knows what's going on with these algorithms, right? Some of my students and clients, myself included, had launches that didn't land the same way. Some of you know, if you follow me for a long time, that I launched Business Visibility Made Easy, my 8-week group coaching program, 3 times a year. And the October launch is almost always one of our biggest. And this year, it was the smallest by far this year, but then also small for years past. And so that kind of was like, wonder what happened there, right? Because we did all the same things, put forth all the same effort, had the same emails, the social media posts, and the things that converted in the past. So I want you to know, if 2025 was your best year ever, congratulations. For a lot of people, it wasn't. It was a roller coaster of, am I still relevant? Do I need to pivot? Why is this no longer working? Stuff like that. Some people all year long were even saying, I heard this so much, no one is buying. Nobody's buying anything. And then other people were saying, I'm not seeing that. People are still buying my offers. So business owners were just unsure. I don't know about you, but that's the way I felt. I'm like, are people really not buying? They seem to be buying. 2025 was my best revenue year yet in all of the years of my business. And still yet, I was a little unsure about some stuff. So here we are wondering, do we pivot? Do we not? And I had a few times, like I mentioned, where my confidence wobbled. Those first 2 launches of BVME went great. Business as usual, hitting the same numbers we had been. And the numbers, though, didn't increase a lot from past launches at those same times of year. But there were no significant signs to me and my team that the economy, the whole people aren't buying thing, was affecting my business until we got to October. And that was a little different. And then I even decided to try a few new fun things this summer. Some of you know that I created low-cost workshops, and those seemed to sell really well. Again, making my way through it, wondering what the outcome would be. And then October's launch came, and we were 10 students short of our usual number. And here's where I wobbled. I mean, we all do it. Were people right all along? Is this the people aren't buying thing? And it's just now knocking on my door, right? It's just now coming to my house. And I sat there and I thought, oh, I really would love to have a crystal ball. So if you're listening to this and you have a crystal ball, DM me, email me, let me know. Can I rent it from you? I really had to control my thoughts, the doubt, the feeling of, wow, do I need to burn this whole thing down? And then thinking, has teaching list building and lead generation run its course? And as a coach that's worked with hundreds of businesses over the years, I know fundamentally that business growth is hardly ever just a solid upward trajectory. Most businesses have off times, an off year, an off season. Most businesses have a year or more where their income stays the same or it dips. So, Tracy Beavers, why would I think my business would be any different? I had to remind myself that a tough year, a weird launch, an offer that didn't sell like crazy does not define the entirety of my business. And even more than that, it does not define my value and worthiness as a coach. So I want to dive into this confidence thing a little bit more. Our mindset, our mental strength, it is key to our long-term success for all the reasons that I just mentioned, because being a business owner is a roller coaster of decisions, income, emotions. And if I don't work on my mindset and you don't work on your mindset, we're just going to not last long enough to build anything sustainable. Our confidence gets shaken in these moments because we have all these things running through our head. Tell me if this is true for you. fear of falling behind, right? We're looking at our competitors or the people that are doing the same thing, our competitors in this space, and maybe they're pushing ahead and doing cool things, and we feel like we're falling behind. Market shifts. The economy is always in flux, whatever country you live in. What do the market shifts mean? How do we predict them? Is what everyone is saying accurate? When I kept hearing all year long, no one's buying, no one's buying, no one's buying. And that didn't seem to affect me, like I mentioned, until we got to October. And then I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're not buying. So I had to play, I had that mind game going on. Let's talk about the social media comparison spirals. I mean, don't get me on a soapbox about this, for the love. Please do not look at your competitor's post about making $10,000 in 30 minutes and think there is something wrong with you. You've heard me say this so many times now. We do not know what is truly going on in anyone else's business from a profit and loss standpoint. Their income, their true expenses, their ethics. I mean, they could be ripping people off for all we know. I hope they're not, but we never know, right? Let's talk about the I should be further along by now internal pressure. Oh, man. I get it. I do. I felt it. I've said it, especially back when I was building this business alongside my full-time job, busy kids. I felt like I was slogging through waist deep mud. You know that sound it makes with your shoes? Yeah, that was me building alongside my full-time job. And everyone else, I felt like, was skipping by me with gazelle-like effortless strides, carrying big bags of money. That's the visual I had, right? Can you visualize it? My competitors striding by me like gazelles on the plain with big bags of money. And there I was slogging through the mud. I have to remember that we're running our own race. I had to remind myself I was running my own race. I was working at a pace that was best for me. And we'll get to our goals. We'll all get there as long as we don't quit. And then, here we go. Let's talk about this one. When visibility doesn't match your effort and you feel like you're doing all the things and your list stops growing and the leads stop coming in. Anybody relate to that one? So here's a trap we can easily fall into. And you know me. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know about this trap, because it's real. Maybe I need to be more like my competition. Have you ever said that to yourself? Maybe I need to be more buttoned up and serious as a business coach. Maybe being my goofy Southern self is a turnoff and makes my audience question if I'm capable as a coach. Make no mistake, I'm a goofball and I make up words and I talk with my hands. But when it comes to business growth, when it comes to your business growth and my clients and my students, I am serious about you and your goals. And I will challenge you and I will give you tough love when you need it. Ask anybody that's worked with me. And we sit here and we think that everybody else has their stuff together. We think, oh gosh, they must know something I don't. Everything they touch turns to gold. Here's the truth. They don't know that they don't have their stuff together any more than the rest of us do. So thinking, I made the mistake, actually. I actually said this to myself in October after that launch. I was like, wow, maybe I need to be more buttoned up. Maybe I need to be more serious. Well, you know what? That's not me. And that's not who you want in me, right? You're listening to this podcast or watching this YouTube video because you like me and you like my style and what I say resonates and I make business fun. So thinking to be, me telling myself that I needed to be someone I wasn't, and you telling yourself you need to be someone you're not, thinking we have to mimic other people, that's not sustainable. Because when we do that, we're not being authentic. We're not being authentic to ourselves, and our audience is going to sniff that out. No one's going to buy from somebody that isn't authentic. I mean, the energy is just off, you know? So here's a truth bomb and a good reminder for me and a good reminder for you, because I think this podcast episode is truly just as much for me as it is you. If you can't tell already, you might want to write this one down though, because I have written it down and I'm going to remember it. The most magnetic thing you can be is yourself. The most magnetic thing you can be is yourself, no one else. Your voice is a differentiator for you. Your quirks, like me, talking with my hands, making up words, your personality, And your stories, they create conversion. And clients choose connection, not perfection. Remember, my mom always says perfection is boring. And thank goodness she's around to remind me of that. And why? Remind yourself, your people are waiting for your leadership. My people, you guys, are waiting for my leadership, my ideas, my way of guiding you to your goal, because you know me, you like me, and you trust me. And your audience and your people are feeling the same thing. So, what do we do when we're having a tough month, a tough season, or a tough year? Because some of you had a tough full year. I had a tough little blip, a little part of the season, a part of the year. Let me give you some action steps that will help you come back to yourself, reclaim your confidence, just like I have. So, these are really practical. You know, I'm all about practicality. Audit what is actually working rather than what feels like it isn't. Feelings are not accurate. Numbers are accurate. I want you to revisit past wins. I want you to revisit all of those glowing testimonials you have from the clients you have blessed. And I want you to allow yourself to bask in the glow of those and remember how many people you've helped. And admit to yourself that you're darn good at what you do. I want you to ground yourself in your mission and your values. Like, why are you doing this work in the first place? What's authentic to you, not to anybody else? And what does it mean to you and your values and your ethics? And I want you to return to having conversations in this new year, in 2026, not being on a content hamster wheel. I want you to connect with other humans. I want you to have conversations, honest conversations, lean into relationships. And what I'm talking about here is email your subscribers and have a conversation with them and come up with some really fun ways to get them to reply back to you so that you can have a conversation in the inbox. People that you know that have connected with you in networking or through a collaboration or in a free Facebook group, or maybe your own free Facebook group, DM them, send them a direct message, have those conversations. Do those collaborations with other human beings and be in communities of support. 2026 is all about humanity and making those connections again. That is what's going to make us successful. So people like you and me who are warm, kind human beings and love other warm, kind human beings, we got 2026 in the bag. Also, I want you to set micro goals. Do not try to set a 3 to 5 year plan and think you're going to fulfill it in 1 month. Micro goals. Get into action. Don't look too far ahead. Do a micro goal. Just set a few action items and get yourself into motion. That's going to bring you more motivation, more clarity, more everything. And listen, this is a big one. This is a big one. Limit the amount of noise you allow in. Now, me, my YouTube channel, my podcast, you need to allow me in. Shameless plug for myself. Don't turn me off. But do limit the amount of noise. There's an argument for every decision in this online space. People will tell you, you have to run paid ads or you will not be successful. Then you've got people like me who are saying, no, you don't really have to have paid ads to be successful. People that will tell you, you have to have a free Facebook group to be successful. Then people like me who go, yeah, it's a great strategy, builds my list every month. Do I recommend it? Sure do. Do you have to do it? Not necessarily if it's not authentic to you. So you can find an argument for every decision you want to make. And we have to be discerning when it comes to who we're going to listen to, who we're going to study, who we're going to allow in. And we're going to have to trim out all the other people. And lastly, don't forget about having some good old gratitude in all of this business building thing. That's when I coach. That's why I'm tumbling over my words. That's why when I coach, that's what I wanted to say. My clients and my students know that I'm going to ask them for a win every single time we're together. And I know that it gets super annoying, but when I get on a group coaching call with my students that go through Business Visibility Made Easy, or then after they've graduated and they're in the Business Visibility Made Easy Alumni Mastermind, I'm asking everybody to throw a win in the chat. I'm doing free networking sessions once a month. I'm asking people to throw a win in the chat, even though it's a networking session. My one-to-one clients, they know the minute we get on Zoom together and I hit record, give me a win for the week. We have to train our brains to see our wins. I need to do that too. And we have to train our brains to let us bask in those wins. That's why I want you to go back to some of those testimonials you've got and just allow yourself to swim in it for a little bit. All right, let's recap. One tough season does not equal failure. One tough day in business does not equal a bad business. Visibility, I love visibility, comes from consistency, patience, not perfection. Thank goodness, right? Your people aren't following you for trends. They're following you for your authenticity and your expertise. And when the going gets tough, the resilient people like us, we keep going. We pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off. Maybe we vent, maybe we cry, maybe we vox our business bestie and lament about what happened. Maybe we go outside and kick some rocks. Then we make up our minds to keep on trucking. So I want you to join communities of support, and I want you to hire coaches that care about you and your success. That is what I do for my clients. I have a less than 60-second exercise that is going to help you rewire your brain for success when you are feeling shaky about your business growth. I want you to go to tracybeavers.com/repeat and grab it. Podcast listeners, it's going to be in the show notes. YouTubers, it'll be in the description notes for you. And remember, I say this every single week, don't go it alone. This entrepreneurship thing, it is hard. If it was easy, everybody be doing it, right? Because some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling and other days nobody can remember your name. And you feel alone, and I want you to know you're not. You need to join my free Facebook group if you're not already in it. You could get more support than you could ever imagine. You can promote your offers anytime. Join our free networking events. I'm even doing some Ask Me Anything live free Zoom calls. The one we had in November was about Ask Me Anything about lead magnets. The one we're having here in a couple of weeks in December is Ask Me Anything about launching. And it's free and you can join us. You just have to join my free Facebook group. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur. Get visible, grow your email list and your income. And the links for that will be in the show notes as well. Remember, my friends, when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on.